Pokemon theories are always like, oh, Ash is in a coma. Bitch, this is putting me in a coma from how bored I am. What we need to be reading is the Nurse Joy creepypasta, because that one's more insane. Nurse Joy is a Pokemon character that has a lot of identical looking relatives, but the author of this pasta knows that this is all a facade. This story gives a detailed description of what happens when a Nurse Joy spots a trainer that is perfect for the job. And I already think this is starting to sound like a conspiracy theory, so let's keep going. She will lure Pokemon trainers into a false sense of security in order to have them stay for the night at the Pokemon Center, when in reality this is a ruse to isolate them in their sleep. You hear that, chat? This nice character is actually evil. Bet you haven't heard that one before. What happens next is that when the trainer is asleep, the Joy will walk into their bedroom and inject them with like sleep potion? My school did not teach me enough about biology class. They never mentioned anything about like sleep potion or something. Now that the trainer is super asleep on top of being just regular asleep, she carries them onto a stretcher and into a room labeled Nurses Only Room. Not even Nurses Only Office, just room. For some reason that caught me off guard. I mean, at that point, just call it like nondescript area, fuck you. If the trainer were to somehow wake up in the room, they would see various jars that have limbs and appendages that didn't quite transform properly. Okay, so you may have already guessed what's going on. Either way, you're not ready for this next paragraph. There are also testicles, the pasta says. Yeah, a lot of those in the world. After stating the biggest fact of the century, the pasta continues, saying, yeah, literally spelled Y-E-A, she cuts those off as well with like a saw. Sure. It says she doesn't mind all the bleeding. In fact, she jars the blood, you know, for when she needs a drink. After all the Joys need a constant supply of blood. Wow, this shit ain't nothing to her, man. Alright, that's a lot to unpack right away. This entire operation is a cloning procedure to turn trainers into Nurse Joy, so I understand coming in with the slap chop and chopping some nuts. With that out of the way, why is she Dracula? I mean, it says multiple times in the story that she makes a scary face during this operation, and I'm not sure how relevant that is. Was the brutal surgery and castration not enough for this creepypasta or something? What is, like, oh yeah, you know, I get it. You need scarier face and bloodlust to put the whole build together, right? 2014 was a long time ago. The pasta continues saying this next part is her favorite as she opens up the trainer like a baked potato and removes all their vital organs, except for, you know, a couple, like the heart and the brain. Oh, you know, just the essentials. Hey man, where's all your inside stuff? Didn't need it. I'm sure medical professionals in the audience are rolling their eyes right now, but get them ready for lap 2, because it's not over. Now's the part where Joy brings out the DNA serum, which of course has the Joy DNA molecules in it, obviously. This is nonsense. It's like a cartoon in here. Anyway, once Joy DNA applied directly to the brain, the trainer will start becoming more Joy-like. Stitching the body back together doesn't even need to be a clean process. All the wounds heal and the organs regrow into new Joy organs. All the cuts are healed as if they had perfect skin and there was no sign of surgery. This pasta turned into Meet the Medic right before my eyes. Maybe I could use some of this serum because the cutting in my videos is not clean. With the process complete, the trainer, now turned nurse, wakes up in the morning wanting to work at a Pokemon Center. But there's also a DNA molecule that makes him want to seek out potential trainers to convert into more Joys. A DNA molecule, a single one that takes care of this entire complex process. That's technology for you. Or medicine. Or witchcraft. I don't know. Some of you in the audience are like, hey, this sounds an awful lot like one of those transformation fetish things. Maybe? So why go through all this bullshit anyway? Well, it's cause the original Nurse Joy would like to someday take over the world with an army of Joys. I feel like this explanation is also some kind of front. The Joys need a constant supply of blood, and this is the same universe where 15-year-olds can have gods as pets. This is a losing battle, honestly. I'm pretty sure they just do it for the fun of it. You're talking shit, Chansey. That's right, this whole thing was actually written by Joy's assistant, Chansey. That makes sense, I guess. 2 things, though. 1, I didn't even know Pokemon could write. 2, how do I know you're not an evil clone, tricking me into thinking the Joys are evil clones? One last paragraph tells us to be careful out there, as the original Nurse Joy likes to hunt around by herself. Wait, so the Joys need a constant supply of blood, and they use sauce to get the blood from people. Most Nurse Joys you see are just copycats of the original, and the original goes around hunting for trainers herself. Bro thinks she's Swords Machine Ultra Kill. You know, there's other characters in Pokemon that have a lot of identical relatives too, like Officer Jenny and Don George. Maybe they're also clones. Maybe I was a clone of Don George this entire time. You don't know me. You know, I did a little minuscule amount of research, and not all Nurse Joys are identical to the human eye. Hell, some Nurse Joys not only look different and behave different, but some of them have different jobs entirely, like archaeologist or inspector. Yes, you heard that right. This nurse is not a nurse. That's impressive, Pokemon. You got me there. So did I like this creepypasta? Sure. Definitely one of those early theory creepypastas that are reliant on shock factor, if anything. I don't know, you guys know me, I don't read creepypastas to be scared, I read them for the creativity. And yeah, cloning DNA juice, that certainly is creative. Alright, chat, thanks for watching my video. Next story time never.